Robert Stellick from Blue Planet Surf Shop, and once again on standuppaddlesurf.net, bringing you the latest technology and indoor training machines for stand-up paddling. So this is actually the third version now. It's a Vasa ergometer. I'm working with these guys now. They've been making this this kind of machine for a while for swim training and paddling. You can use it for actually canoe outrigger paddling as well, and kayaking. So it's cool because it's really a multifunctional machine. It's $14.99 for the unit, and shipping to Hawaii is about $275. So $17.75 for this machine. Kind of pricey, but it gives a very realistic simulation of the paddle stroke. And the way it works is it has a left and a right pulley system here, and the rope can come out at any angle. It kind of adjusts the angle of where you pull it, which is kind of nice. It has the computer that can show the distance, your paddling strength, strokes per minute. It shows separate. You can set it so it shows the left and the right side separately. So it has a lot of cool features, and it has, because it has left and right, you can actually have two people using it at the same time. So it's kind of nice for coaching. You can have one person using it on the right and use it on the left next to them and show them proper stroke and so on. And then it has this flap here that you can open up. The more you open this flap, the more resistance it adds. It has basically a wind fan inside. So if you open it, it has more resistance than when it's closed. And then for stand-up paddling, I usually just leave it closed so it's not too much resistance. But basically it feels like when you open it up, it feels like paddling into the wind. When you have it closed, it's more like you're going pretty fast or going downwind. This just kind of locks it into place. And then I have a mirror up here too, just to see when you're paddling. You can kind of see if you're symmetrical and so on, you know. And then this is the balance board we made for this very simple design. It's just a rocker board with a fairly easy balancing. It's just mostly it's there not so much to make it difficult to balance on. Most balance trainers are kind of real tippy, hard to balance on. So it's the idea of this is just to keep your weight centered, so that when you're taking a stroke, you don't just put all your weight on the inside foot where you're paddling, because that's the tendency when you're just using the trainer to put all your weight on the inside foot where you're pulling. You have to keep your center of gravity over the center of the board, just like when you're paddling on a board. So I really like this machine for the days I can't get in the water, because can do like a couple of quick sprints, get a good workout in 10 minutes, and then I'm done. You can set it so it runs a certain distance. We're gonna go, I'm just gonna do 100 meters right now. And so now as soon as I start paddling, it'll start counting down the meters, and then I get a time for my 100-meter sprint, and I can record that time and compare my effort to previous times. So it's actually a pretty good simulation of the stand-up paddle stroke. Surprisingly good. You can practice your reach, your catch, your twist, lean, using the hips, bringing the hips forward, all those technique things. You can kind of watch yourself and make sure that you're doing it correctly. Switch it, do the other side. And then make it go a little bit faster. Also shows how many watts of power you put out. All right, so that was 100 meters in 1 minute and 28 seconds. That's not really the best time I've ever had, but it's kind of good to check it out. See, I wrote down a couple here. I've done it in 120, 116, 117, 118. So you know, it's a good way to keep track of your training progress, I guess. And then for this machine, I actually developed a different way of using it, because one of the disadvantages of using a machine like this, or the first version we had to, was just a regular rowing machine, is that it comes out at basically diagonally. So since it's at one point, when you're stroking on the right, it's your stroke path is slightly diagonal to the left, and then on the right side it's slightly diagonal to the right. So, and basically when you're stroking in the water, you're pulling the paddle straight back. So because it's a little bit at a diagonal angle, what I wanted to use on this machine, the advantage is that you have a pulley on both sides. So I made a paddle that's a double-sided paddle that you can flip over, so that way you're using the left side for the left stroke and the right side for the right stroke. I'll show you how that works. The Vasa trainer already comes with this canoe paddle that you can use also, canoe paddle trainer, or we're just working on also an adjustable stand-up paddle trainer. But this is kind of my own creation here. It's like a double-sided paddle. So you hook one side to the left pulley, and the other side to the right pulley. So now you got a paddle that you can flip upside down. And what's cool also is on the computer you can set it to stroke mode. So when I turn it on and I press shift stroke, then it shows me the force of the left side and the right side. So while I'm stroking, I can compare my effort that I'm putting into the strokes on the left versus the right side, make sure that I'm using symmetrical force on both sides. So with this setup, when I pull on the right, I use the pulley on the right like this, so the stroke angle is straight from the front. And then when I switch sides, I flip the paddle upside down, and then I use the left side for the left stroke. So this is a more realistic stroke path. It gives you a more realistic simulation of this paddle stroke. You just flip the paddle upside down for each. Instead of just switching it side to side, you flip the paddle upside down. Takes a little bit of getting used to, but kind of comes natural after doing it a few times. And then you can watch the watts you put out on the left side. Right now I'm somewhere between 90 and 100 on the left, and then one on the right. And see how much you're putting out on the right. Like right around 90 and 100 also. So putting out the same amount of power on both sides, which is important. So anyway, this is how I stay in shape when I can't get in the water. But of course, nothing beats going into the water. You're used to paddling in the beautiful ocean and catching waves and all that. After about 10 minutes on this machine, you're done. So, but it's actually fine, because in 10 minutes you can get a pretty good workout. I didn't even try very hard today, and I'm already sweating and out of breath. So, good machine. It's great, I think, for our friends on the mainland or anywhere in the northern hemisphere where it gets cold in the winter and they can't get on the water. It's definitely cool to have a machine like that. And of course we also have just the paddle core trainer, which includes the balance board, a training shaft, and then a elastic band kit. So with the elastic bands, you can hook it up on a door. It comes with a door anchor. You can hook it up to any door and use it as a paddle trainer for training your muscles and the technique. It's not as realistic because you also have the resistance on the way back. But you know, so really the ultimate machine is a paddle trainer like this. But if you don't want to spend that much, for $200 you can basically get the kit that you can use by itself or with a rowing machine or a Vasa trainer, and then you have basically the complete setup. Alright, so that's it for our third version of the paddle trainer. I'm really happy with this one. So I don't know if there's going to be number 4. I'm sure we'll make little improvements to it, but and I know the guys from Vasa Trainer are working with me to I'm going to try to come up with a really cool kit that we're going to sell directly to the startup crowd. And the cool thing is too that it's not just a stand-up paddle trainer, it's also a swim trainer, a kayak trainer. Pretty much there's a lot of different sports you can train for with this machine, so it's really unique. And for example for paddling, it comes with these 2 handles that you can hook your hands into, and then the pulleys hook on here, and you lay on a bench and you can practice your freestyle stroke technique and all that kind of stuff. So it's really a multi-purpose machine that you can use for all kinds of exercises. Great for triathletes that train for triathlon in the winter time and you can't get in the water that much. You do this in your home gym. And stand-up racing, I think it's great to have a machine like this for training, mostly the sprint or interval training. I think it's really effective for that. Alright, thanks for watching. Aloha.